This first piece of footage comes to us from TikTok user NVM Kyla, capturing what began as a completely normal evening on the front porch. Doorbell cameras are meant to offer peace of mind, a digital sentry standing guard over our homes. Most of the time they record nothing more than delivery drivers or the wind blowing through the yard. However, on this particular night, the motion sensor was triggered by a presence that no one was expecting. The atmosphere quickly shifts from casual to terrifying as a bizarre audio anomaly cuts through the silence.
Inside, Kaylee, go! Kaylee, go! Oh no, if he's gonna grab his keys, then you're gonna have to leave me. What was that?
Some viewers believe a residual spirit was caught on the doorbell audio, specifically because of the eerie vocalization that doesn't seem to match anyone present on the porch. Others argue it could simply be audio bleed from a passing vehicle's radio or perhaps a neighbor shouting in the distance. Skeptics also point out that camera compression artifacts can distort completely mundane sounds into something sinister and unsettling. However, the immediate fear and physical reaction of the family members suggests they felt a genuine drop in temperature or an oppressive energy that the microphone couldn't fully capture. When you watch how fast they scramble to get back inside, it makes you question what they really sensed in that dark yard. The ambiguity of the recording leaves us wondering if the porch is truly haunted or if paranoia just got the better of them. The way the shadows wrap around the frame only adds to the mystery. Whether it is a carefully crafted hoax or something truly unexplained, it leaves a chilling impression. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Our next recording takes us into a pitch-black bedroom where a young man is abruptly awakened by an overwhelming sense of dread. Many of us have experienced that sudden jolt in the middle of the night, the primal instinct telling us we are not alone in the dark. Usually our eyes adjust and we realize it is just a pile of laundry or an open closet door. But for this creator, the darkness held something that refused to be rationalized away. The tension is palpable as he scans the room, searching for the source of his unease.
Vocês fariam? Se vocês lá na cabeça, eu juro por Deus, eu vi negócio preto aqui do lado da... até acordou, cara. Cadê?
Some viewers believe a shadow entity manifested near the corner of the room, specifically because of the unnatural black mass that the camera struggles to focus on. Others argue it could simply be a visual artifact caused by the low-light sensor failing to process the deep shadows correctly. Skeptics also point out that pareidolia often causes the human brain to see faces and figures in random patterns, especially when sleep-deprived. However, the sheer panic in his voice and his frantic movements to turn on the lights suggest a primal reaction to a real physical threat. Entities of this nature are said to feed on fear, manifesting in corners where our vision is weakest. The way he scrambles out of bed and scans the perimeter shows a man genuinely terrified of his own sanctuary. Is this an actual encounter with an astral intruder, or simply a vivid nightmare bleeding into waking life? The terrifying nature of this footage leaves a mark, whether it is a hoax or something truly unexplained. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We journey now to an ancient cavernous dungeon beneath a historic castle, documented by Helen Parker. Locations with centuries of dark history are notorious for retaining residual energy, trapping echoes of the past within their stone walls. The heavy atmosphere in this underground dining area is suffocating, lit only by dim ambient lights and the harsh glare of a handheld camera. As Helen explains the eerie feeling washing over her, the isolation of the room becomes a character of its own. It is the perfect setting for a paranormal encounter, and the building does not disappoint.
Within its labyrinth of hallways and rooms, there's no sign of ghosts, but there's one place I haven't checked.
It's now nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm down here in the dungeon. We were having dinner earlier tonight down here. And it's definitely a very, very different mood now. The rest of the castle have gone to bed.
Now I should point out I'm the only one in the dungeon, just me and my camera, and I'm facing the only doorway.
So, had no signs of her tonight. But if ever you were going to see a ghost, do you think it would be here? So maybe it's all just rubbish. Maybe it's all just hocus pocus. Maybe there is no such thing as ghosts whatsoever. Anyway, I'm prepared to wait. Catherine. Oh, Catherine.
The chair next to me is about to start thumping on its own. You'll be able to clearly hear it.
It's creeping me out now. Okay, I get it.
The chair thumping violently against the stone floor is undeniable. While skeptics might suspect a hidden string, the sheer weight of the furniture makes that difficult. But keep your eyes on the background, because the activity in this dungeon is far from over.
Okay, I get it. I'm going. Okay, Catherine, I get it.
And something moves in the dungeon, but I'm not
Okay.
staying to find out what it is.
I'm going. I'd like to think I'm a pretty rational person, but and if you're interested to play back what's on that tape.
The chair banging on its own with such purpose is what scared me. And an intense electric feeling down the right side of my face and head.
I can see that, but I'm shaking like a leaf.
Some viewers believe a territorial spirit was asserting dominance over the space, specifically because of the aggressive, unprovoked movement of the heavy wooden chair. Others argue it could simply be structural vibrations from the floors above or a very elaborate practical effect. Skeptics also point out that the camera framing is highly convenient, potentially hiding a mechanical rig just out of sight. However, her intense visceral reaction and the heavy electric feeling she describes align perfectly with documented poltergeist phenomena. Entities attached to historic locations often use physical objects to intimidate intruders and reclaim their territory. The erratic panning of the camera captures her authentic desperation to escape the subterranean room. It makes you wonder how long that presence had been waiting in the dark for an audience, whether it is a hoax or something truly unexplained. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Those were just the first 3 pieces of evidence for tonight. From bizarre shadows to unexplained physical interactions, the paranormal activity is mounting and the tension is rising. If you're enjoying Pale Playback, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an investigation. We release new evidence every single week. Now, steel yourselves because the next clips we are about to analyze might be the most disturbing ones yet. Moving along, we have a deeply unsettling video submitted by TikTok user Musicluvar. The setting is a quiet, seemingly empty home late at night. The owner is walking through the domestic spaces, documenting an overwhelming feeling of dread that has blanketed the property. Homes are supposed to be safe havens, but when the familiar turns hostile, the psychological toll is immense. The silence in the house is deafening, acting as a canvas for the bizarre event that is about to unfold right in front of the lens. Watch closely as the mundane becomes terrifying.
It's even easier than it sounds. Camera, as it would have in 1901 when a servant of New Stature would planet.
Oh, dear Jesus. Oh, hell no. No freaking way.
Some viewers believe a poltergeist is actively manipulating objects in the home, specifically because the medical equipment rolls smoothly across the wooden floor without any visible propulsion. Others argue it could simply be a slanted floor causing gravity to take its natural course, or perhaps an unseen draft. Skeptics also point out that fishing line is virtually invisible on low-resolution mobile cameras. However, the sheer horror in the videographer's voice suggests a genuine shock that is very difficult to fake. When objects tied to illness or frailty move on their own, the psychological impact is magnified tenfold. The fluid motion of the wheels implies a deliberate push rather than a random settling of weight. It leaves us questioning the history of the house and who might still be walking its halls. Whether it is a hoax or something truly unexplained, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next up is a highly debated clip that surfaced on Reddit, posted by user Maribel30. The footage takes place in a standard residential kitchen and hallway area. Often, the most terrifying paranormal encounters happen in the most ordinary spaces, stripping away our sense of domestic security. The person filming claims to have heard strange noises emanating from the back rooms of the house. Armed only with a smartphone camera, they slowly approach the hallway, unaware that they are about to capture visual evidence of an entity that clearly does not want them there. Some viewers believe a shadow figure or dark entity was caught peeking from the archway, specifically because of the distinct humanoid shape that retracts quickly into the darkness. Others argue it could simply be a trick of perspective caused by shifting light, or a staged prank by a friend hiding in the next room. Skeptics also point out that the slow, deliberate camera pan creates the perfect setup for a premeditated scare. However, the profound silence followed by that subtle, creeping movement is exactly how malicious entities are said to observe their targets. They wait at the edges of our peripheral vision, testing boundaries before fully manifesting. The way the figure blends into the ambient shadows demonstrates an unnatural camouflage. Is this house harboring a demonic attachment, or is it just viral fiction? Whether it is a hoax or something truly unexplained, let me know what you think in the comments down below. This black and white security footage was shared by TikTok user Jujubee1970. Animals are famously sensitive to atmospheric shifts, possessing senses far beyond human capabilities. In this living room, a cat is perched atop its tower, completely fixated on a corner of the room that appears empty to our eyes. The stillness of the footage builds a creeping anxiety as the feline refuses to break its stare. Whatever is standing in that living room, the cat sees it clearly, and the camera is about to validate the animal's unwavering paranoia. Some viewers believe an invisible entity moved the tunnel toy, specifically because the cat tracks a presence across the floor just before the object inexplicably slides on its own. Others argue it could simply be a rodent hidden inside the fabric, or an illusion caused by a draft in the old house. Skeptics also point out that infrared cameras often misrepresent depth and motion. However, the synchronized reaction of the animal and the physical movement of the toy is incredibly hard to debunk as mere coincidence. Cats do not freeze and stare with dilated pupils unless they perceive a legitimate threat. The way the shadow seems to dance around the edges of the room suggests an intelligent, playful, or perhaps sinister force interacting with the environment. Whether it is a hoax or something truly unexplained, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Those were 3 more compelling pieces of evidence for tonight. From medical equipment rolling through a silent home with a mind of its own to that haunting figure peeking from the kitchen archway, the activity is becoming impossible to ignore. Seeing that cat track an invisible presence right before the toy moved across the floor only adds to the mystery. If you're enjoying Pale Playback, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an investigation. Now steel yourselves because our final clips are about to take us into even darker territory. Our next piece of evidence is a multi-layered nightmare uploaded by TikTok user Oh Welly Never. The creator states this anomaly has been happening randomly for weeks, driving them to the brink of exhaustion. The setting is a brightly lit bedroom facing an open doorway leading to a hallway. Bright lights usually provide a sense of safety, but in this case, they only serve to illuminate the terrifying reality that an intruder is lurking just out of sight. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on the doorway frame because this entity is persistent.
Oh my god, bro. I just seen the craziest shit. Look, over there. over there. I just seen the craziest shit. Look! Oh my god.
The subtle shape slipping behind the wall is deeply unnerving. While it could be dismissed as a lighting artifact, the movement is far too deliberate. Let's keep watching, as the entity decides to show itself a second time.
Shit. Look! Oh my god. What was that? My god. My god, what is that? I'm like shaking right now. What is that? Look it. Watch, it's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again.
There it is again, a pale mass breaching the threshold. Skeptics claim it is just a roommate playing a cruel prank, but the resident insists they are completely alone and the camera is about to catch it one last time.
Watch, it's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again. Look at that! Nah, bro. Look, there it is again. Holy shit. Look, even the cat's tripping. Even the cat's tripping. Last time y'all told me to go look. I'm going to look. 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 It's literally just the bathroom. Look. Oh god. Don't ignore that. But, look. Windows closed. There's nobody in here. It's just dirty. I'm just not... Like, what is going on, bro? Look at that.
Some viewers believe a mimic or a lower astral entity is attached to this house, specifically because of the repetitive, creeping nature of the figure peeking around the doorway. Others argue it could simply be a masterful use of digital compositing or a hidden accomplice wearing a mask. Skeptics also point out that the framing of the mirror and the doorway provides ample blind spots for someone to hide in. However, the raw, visceral trembling of the camera operator indicates a state of genuine terror. Entities that peek and hide are infamous in paranormal lore. They feed off the rising anxiety of their victims without ever fully stepping into the light. This psychological warfare is far more damaging than a simple jump scare. The fact that even the cats seem disturbed adds a layer of authenticity to the horror. Whether it is a hoax or something truly unexplained, let me know what you think in the comments down below. This video from Bulldog Mom 319 proves that even the most domestic spaces can harbor dark secrets. The creator was in her kitchen when she heard a commotion coming from the laundry room. Armed with her phone flashlight, she decides to investigate the pitch-black space. There is a primal fear associated with exploring dark rooms in your own home, knowing that whatever is making the noise has crossed the boundary into your personal sanctuary. As the light sweeps across the wooden stepladder, the unseen force makes its presence aggressively known.
Mother. I don't know what's going on. The f was that?
Some viewers believe a poltergeist is attempting to manifest physically, specifically because the heavy wooden ladder shakes violently without any visible source of impact. Others argue it could simply be a vibration from an unseen appliance like a washing machine, or a clever manipulation involving invisible fishing wire. Skeptics also point out that the camera remains remarkably steady during the climax, which is unusual for a genuine panic response. However, the aggressive, hollow thumping sound resonates with the classic hallmarks of an intelligent haunting. The entity seems to respond to the light, ceasing its activity only to resume with greater violence. This type of territorial display is meant to intimidate, establishing dominance over the physical space. The fact that she was watching true crime content beforehand might have just been a coincidence, or perhaps it lowered her energetic shield. Whether it is a hoax or something truly unexplained, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Our final video comes from Austin, documenting an auditory anomaly that is impossible to ignore. The setting is an ordinary hallway, completely still and devoid of life. The creator points the camera upwards towards a smoke detector, claiming to have heard deafening, unexplainable taps echoing from the ceiling. Sound is often the first indicator of a haunting, crossing the barrier between the ethereal and the physical world. As he documents the silence, the entity decides to repeat its performance, leaving the homeowner absolutely bewildered.
I just heard 2 ridiculous taps on the ceiling. Very loud. It is 8:39 at night. I do not believe anyone would be... The heck is that? I don't know if that's an animal or what the hell that is exactly, but have been having weird things happen here on and off. I'm going to be going live here tonight and see what else kind of weird things happen. I do not know what that noise is, if it's an animal or natural noise, but that just happened out of nowhere. I've never heard that before. So let's find out what that's all about. I've never heard that noise before.
Some viewers believe a residual energy is trapped within the architecture, specifically because the loud, metallic clanks sound like deliberate communication from the other side. Others argue it could simply be expanding pipes, a faulty smoke detector, or an animal trapped in the crawlspace above. Skeptics also point out that audio anomalies are the easiest to fake in post-production. However, the sheer volume and unnatural resonance of the sound defies conventional plumbing or structural explanations. It sounds like an entity exerting massive physical force against the drywall, attempting to break through the barrier. The creator's genuine confusion and attempt to rationalize the event only adds to the eerie authenticity of the moment. We are left staring at a blank ceiling, wondering what nightmare is pacing just inches above his head. Whether it is a hoax or something truly unexplained, let me know what you think in the comments down below. That concludes our forensic investigation for tonight. The line between reality and the supernatural is often thinner than we'd like to admit, blurring when the sun goes down and the shadows lengthen. From violent unseen forces moving heavy furniture, to shadow figures stalking the hallways of our most private spaces, the evidence presented tonight demands scrutiny. Are these manifestations the result of trapped spirits, dark entities, or simply the machinations of the human mind playing tricks on us in the dark? The truth remains elusive, hidden in the static and the grain of digital recordings. I want to hear your forensic analysis on these encounters. Whether these are clever hoaxes or genuine glimpses into the unknown, I'll let you decide. Thanks for watching Pale Playback.